Omicron. "Quiet, children, please," said Mrs. Henshaw, Megan's form mistress. "I have an important announcement to make, which will affect each and every one of you. I also have a letter that you should pass to your parents or guardians as soon as you get home. Don't worry, it's not a school report on your academic abilities. It's a short explanation concerning what I'm about to tell you now. By the way, every form is receiving this exact same talk at this very moment. It concerns that ghastly virus COVID-19 that is making everyone's life so difficult, so please listen with both ears. As you may know, children have not been much affected by the strains of COVID-19 that we have experienced so far, and that is why most children have not been vaccinated. However, there's a new strain of the virus on the way, which looks as if it will infect the younger members of society too. And yes, Johnny, that means you lot, so stop talking." There was a restrained titter at the teacher's little joke, for everybody liked her. "Are you saying we'll have to have an injection, miss?" blurted out Jane from the desk adjacent to Megan's. "What have I told you about shouting out Jane Thompson Davis?" "Sorry, miss," she replied, raising a hand, but still searching the teacher's face for an answer. "We'll get to that later. Don't be in such a hurry. So, where was I? Oh yes, the letters for your parents. Please take one and pass the others back." She gave the 6 pupils sitting at the front of the rows 5 sealed envelopes each. Megan took her letter, turned it over, and passed the others over her shoulder and looked at Jane. She was definitely looking a bit queasy. "Are you all right?" she whispered. Jane's only reply was to turn the corners of her mouth down and shake her head almost imperceptibly. Megan knew that she hated needles. "Omicron, the latest variant, is attacking children, but the good news is that it is not as powerful as its predecessors. It is more virulent. That means that it is harder to block it, but it doesn't, well, rarely does as much harm as the others. Children are likely to catch it and even fall ill, although it won't be severe. However, that doesn't mean that you can't make an elderly person extremely ill if you pass it on to them. The government is therefore recommending that henceforth all school children be vaccinated as soon as possible. And so to your question, Jane, that means an injection in the upper arm. However, it is quite painless. I have had 3 already, and I didn't feel a thing. Look, not even a mark," she said, lifting the short sleeve of her blouse. Megan put up her hand, and Miss Henshaw nodded. "When will it happen, miss?" "Good question, Megan. Well, today's Friday, so your parents will have the weekend to read the letter and sometime next week to ask any questions they may have. The inoculation program will begin on Tuesday next week. A group of medical personnel will come to the school to make things easier, and they will set up shop in the hall. Any questions?" She looked around the class, but only Jane's hand went up. "Jane? Do we have to have it, miss?" "The truth is that I don't know. I don't see how they can vaccinate you against the will of your GP or your parents, or if you're kicking and screaming on the floor. However, it is the recommended option, so you will need to discuss it with your family. Now, one last thing before we disperse to the first lesson. If anyone wants to discuss this with me, seek me out. All right, go." Megan helped her sickly-looking friend on with her backpack, and they left the room. The first opportunity that the 2 friends had to talk was at lunchtime, but neither wanted to be the one to bring up the subject. They sat on a bench near the tennis court and opened their sandwich boxes.